You, Diana Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hernandez, you're charged with assault causing bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
Officers were dispatched to a nightclub in Harris County, Texas, in response to an assault. The complainant told the officers that her and her friends were inside when the defendant and the complainant began arguing. The complainant was removed from the bar by staff and was standing outside when the defendant exited the bar and punched the complainant in the head with a closed fist, causing pain. The defendant then grabbed the complainant's hair and scratched her chest. The defendant admitted to hitting the complainant, and the complainant and the defendant had never met before.
Hey, Ms. Hernandez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using any kind of alcohol or illegal drugs, I'll put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. I'm also ordering you not to have any contact with the complaining witness, not to be in possession of any weapons, and not to go to this club. Do you understand? You will not get any more PR bonds, and I will protect every person in Harris County. And I don't care if you're kicking and screaming that we have to put you in jail, but that's how it works. Every person will be protected. Do you understand? How old are you, ma'am? How old are you?
32, sorry.
What do you do for a living? How many children do you have?
4 children.
How do you support yourself?
Okay.
Are you married?
Well, no, but we live together.
Okay, and how much money does your, I guess, father of your children make?
Not sure.
You need to find out,
Yes, sir.
because if you want to apply for court-appointed lawyer, I need to know whether you qualify or not. So I can send you home with an application, or you can go hire a lawyer. What would you like to do?
An application to go home.
Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, I'll have you meet with Fleischer to sign our bond conditions, and don't pick up any new cases. I will not give you any more PR bonds. I mean, imagine if you go to jail for an extended period of time, who's going to take care of those 4 kids? It'll throw your life sideways. Do you understand? So consider this when you're out there in the free world. Do you understand? Okay. Mr. Miller, you're charged with terroristic threat on a public servant. That makes it a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On November 3rd, 2024, officers were dispatched to Ben Taub in regard to a terroristic threat call. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant, who was employed at Ben Taub Hospital as a registered nurse. The complainant advised that she was attempting to administer an IV needle in the arm of the defendant, and the defendant stated, "Bitch, take the needle out of my arm," or "Take the needle out or I will kill you." The complainant stated she was in fear for her life.
Mr. Miller, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm unemployed right now, looking for a job. IT,
When is the last time you've had a full-time job?
maybe about 3 years ago.
And how do you support yourself now?
Just my social security, my disability check.
Okay, I'll give you an application for an appointed lawyer. We need to, when you get a lawyer, we'll talk about how we go forward, because I don't know about, letting him go back to Ben Taub or not. Have you done a RIP by chance, Morgan, or anyone?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge, not yet.
So I'm ordering you not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of weapons. As far as you going back to Ben Taub Hospital, we're going to need to talk about that. So I'll appoint your lawyer today. We'll have you talk to the lawyer and we'll figure something out. Do not leave until you come back and we speak together. Do you understand? Okay, please.
She told me that on Jeremy Miller that you wanted me to approach on some specific bond condition.
Yeah, come up, Mr. Miller. Oh, no. I thought you were talking about the other gentleman.
So I believe this is a brand new case.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about the other gentleman. Here's my issue, is that there was a bit of an issue at the hospital last time. So one of the things that I was going to order him is don't go back to the hospital, because that's typically what we do when we have these terroristic threat type cases. So I'd like you guys to get together to see if there are any issues about going back to the hospital. Is that something that needs to happen on a consistent basis? Was this an isolated event as far as the hospital stay is concerned? Because, my fear is that he goes back to the hospital, runs into the same person, and then it really hits the fan, which is what we want to try to prevent. So you guys get together. I'd like to know what the nature of the issue was. Is that something that he has to continue to go back? So please, okay? All right. So I've given you a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Stevens. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you, you're playing games, you pick up a new case, you become a danger to the public. No more PR bonds. Do you understand? Just be good, be nice. That's all we're asking. It's not hard, Okay, all right, guys, thanks. All right, come on. Good morning, Mr. Vineyard. Sir, you're charged with tampering with a government record. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On November 3rd, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing the defendant's temporary tag to be obscured and wet. Upon running the tag through NCIC, no return was received. Upon being advised of the defendant that the tag was registered in Colorado, the officer ran the tag through Colorado's database, which showed a registration effective as of December 15th, 2023, with an expiration date of February 13th, 2024. However, the temporary tag displayed December 13th, 2024. The defendant eventually admitted to tampering with the temporary tag in order to avoid paying taxes. The officer observed that the December on the tag appeared to be a cutout modification inconsistent with the organization tag.
Okay. Mr. Vineyard, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir? Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're not allowed to drive unless you have both of those where you're making that a condition of your bond. If you're caught driving and you don't have a license and or a liability insurance, you will go to jail. Or if you pick up a new case, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get more PR bonds.
Yes, sir.
Quinn?
Do you mind filing those, please? Those conditions?
Driving without the license and insurance.
Correct, please. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. We're going to get you out of here. You need a lawyer to represent you. We will give you time to get a lawyer. I'll have you sign the reset. After that, we'll have you take a seat in the jury box. We'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And after that, you'll be free to go. Please.
There's one more.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
How's it going?
Mr. Wilson, you're charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Understood.
How old are you, sir?
18 years old.
Here with anyone today?
No, sir.
Yes, Judge. On October 9th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a terroristic threat call at Vape City in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with a witness. The witness stated the defendant, an employee, arrived and began yelling, "Where the fuck is she at? Where is she at?" The witness stated he was confused as to who the defendant was referring to and stated the defendant mentioned the name of Millie, the manager of the store. The witness stated he told the defendant the manager was not at the location, to which the defendant began yelling, "When she fucking comes back, you call me, you let me know because I got something for her ass. She fired the wrong fucking one, and I hope it was worth the fucking job. Her ass is the one on the line." The witness stated he became afraid as the defendant got louder with each statement. The witness stated the defendant tapped a solid unknown item in the front of his waistband, which the witness stated was possibly a gun. The witness stated he informed the complainant of the incident, and this complainant advised the defendant was recently fired. The complainant stated she reported the incident to management and was ordered not to go to the store. The complainant stated she was in fear for her life and felt unsafe going to work.
Mr. Wilson, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. If I test you now, what are you going to test positive for?
For alcohol. I do
I'm
it in front of you.
going to send you for a drug and alcohol test. You're to come right back. If you fail to come back, if you fail to take the test, I will issue a warrant. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Understood.
Okay, I'll have you take the test while you come back, and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation when you get back, sir. Emma Lynch. Ms. Lynch, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On November 3rd, 2024, an officer was dispatched to a possible intoxicated driver. The witness, a Harris County Toll Authority record, advised that he observed the defendant's vehicle stopped in the entrance ramp of West Little York Road to the West Sam Houston Parkway North, and observed the defendant's motor vehicle stop erratically on the roadway and jump over the curb on the service road. The officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it to have been traveling at a low rate of speed and failed to stop at a designated stopping point. The defendant initially accelerated as the officer approached. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed her to have a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, red glassy eyes, and major disorientation. The officer also observed the defendant to have been swaying and have difficulty keeping her eyes open. The defendant's passenger advised the defendant was drinking. HGN was performed 6 out of 6. The defendant denied to perform walk and turn and one leg stand. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused, and a blood warrant was signed and executed.
Okay. Any prior to be honest?
There was a dismissal out of Bryan County in 2023.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Yes, that was the only other DWI judge, but she also had a failure to ID, giving false or fictitious information, also out of Bryan County, and she received 12 months probation from that. And those were both out of the same
Transaction.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Ms. Lynch, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you now. Or let me ask you, do you have a Texas driver license? Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
Can you run her license, Alex, please? I'm now placing a restriction on your license. You're not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle that doesn't have an interlock, then you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. I am filing paperwork now with the Texas Department of Public Safety so that every officer knows you are supposed to drive a vehicle that has an interlock. If you're caught driving one that doesn't, they will take you to jail.
She's eligible.
Got it. I am also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. You will be randomly tested. If you test positive for drugs or alcohol, likewise, you will go to jail. If you continually test positive, that tells me that you have a problem, and I can have a contempt hearing, hold you in contempt, slap you with 180 days, probate it for 2 years, and put you in a rehab facility. Don't. If you have a problem with drugs or alcohol, address it, because if it becomes a problem, I'm going to take care of it. And I promise you're not going to like the way that I do it. Do you understand? Okay. I will have you sign. How old are you, ma'am?
Oh,
What do you do for a living?
I work at a perfume kiosk, but I'm in nursing school as well. So
You're in
nursing school.
nursing school. Okay. Would you like to apply for an appointed lawyer, ma'am? Okay. Do you mind giving an application? We'll have you fill out an application. I need to know whether you qualify. I'll have you sign a wreath of Victoria. You'll meet with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and then we'll have you take your signature box, ma'am. Please.
Punishment.
You are, is it Enyahi Chukukiri?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Sir,
Good morning, sir.
we brought you out. Your lawyer is asking me to set you a bond. I don't know, though. I don't know much about you. I mean, I don't know anything about you. All I know is that you're wanted here from another state. You were arrested here in Houston. So we have to figure out everything about you in the short little time that we have. So bear with us while we get to know you real quick, and then we'll see whether that we should give you a bond or not. Okay, tell us about it.
Judges one out of Florida for battery by strangulation. The jurisdiction there, and he doesn't show any other history except for some traffic infractions. They requested that we hold him no bond in our jurisdiction, but he is eligible for bond at their jurisdiction only upon return for 25,000 or 25,000.
What's your position?
State's not opposed to a bond, but I am opposed to a low bond. It looks like he has had this warrant since July, but it's not an FTA bond. But the fact that it's been out so long and that he might have some indication that this warrant was coming, the strangulation of partner, and it's a domestic. And so the state's requesting $10,000 to commit sufficient bail for him to return.
Judge, defendant resides here in Harris County. He's domiciled here in Harris County. He's an engineer by profession. I know him very well, and he's a US citizen. He's not going to pay a flight risk. He relocated and he works here. He lives in Katy. He has a house and everything. So this came as a surprise to him. As a matter of fact, he's not even seeing you because I have his glasses in my pocket. He's not
he have his
comprehending what is
glasses or
happening.
no?
He can see.
Can he have his glasses or no?
Because when they took him, he fell off, so nobody knew. He can see. He's just gaping. But I know him very well. So
Your Honor, they can get their glasses, they have to see the they have to see the eye doctor there at the jail. They can do that if they already have a pair.
So we can't give him.
No,
Mr.
So
Lee
he
has
you
to
cannot
know.
he can read. So that's where we are now. I told them that. So he had an issue with his ex, and he awakened.
You know, I got to tell you, Mr. Noli, that lately, Mr. Kim here hasn't agreed to many bonds at all, quite frankly. He's okay with a $10,000 bond now. What's your position on that?
Well, 10,000 is not so much, but if we can make it 5,000, that would be more reasonable to me.
Well, 5,000 is normally what we do on a felony case here. And the other thing is that this is a fugitive case, so it makes it a lot
You
more.
judge, your discretion is fine with me.
Here's the thing. You have to understand that you are an inherent flight risk because it is a fugitive case. So the usual and customary 10 to 20% will not apply to you. When you have a fugitive case and we set a bond, typically bonding companies will want a significant portion of that bond, if not all. So if we set you a bond now, you'll probably have to put a good amount of that, if not all of it, toward the bond for you to be released. Has he waived already?
Yes.
So the thing is this, is that you've waived. What we do is we give Florida 2 weeks to come get you. If they don't come get you within that time, Harris County releases you. If you want me to set the bond, you have to withdraw your waiver and you lose that time that you've accrued now, which is now what, 2 to 3 days
That's what,
for them to come get you.
that's what we want. We're going to withdraw it.
Sorry.
He's going to withdraw
I
his
mean,
waiver.
what I'm saying is I'm going to set your bond at $7,500.
That's
Okay.
fine.
If you want to make it, you'll probably have to put all that money up.
I will pay it today. I will pay for him.
Oh, okay. It's up to you guys, but understand that you will withdraw your waiver. You will lose that time versus using that money to hire a lawyer in Florida. I don't know what kind of money you have, but just that's one of the considerations you need to make. If you want, we'll set the bond for you. It'll be $7,500. The idea is that once you post that bond, we give you 2 weeks to go turn yourself into the demanding jurisdiction, into Florida, specifically where?
Orange County, at least.
That's what-
We give you 2 weeks to go turn yourself into Orange County. You know that actions have consequences. And if you fail to go turn yourself in, or if you fail to go post bond in that jurisdiction, I'm going to revoke this bond. Now we'll set it to 0. I will not give you another one. This is the only opportunity you will have here to go do what you need to do. You won't get another one. Do you understand? Okay, I don't need you to make the decision right now in front of us. You guys talk if you still want to do it. I'll set the bond.
I understand, I'm doing it.
You want to still want to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so set the bond at 7,500.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Norton.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
That's right.
Yes.
So, yes.